Did you know that every 33 seconds, someone in the US dies from cardiovascular disease? That's nearly 1,600 people a day gone. And according to leading cardiologists, one silent, everyday habit may be quietly sabotaging your heart, even if you think you're healthy. Most people over 50, and especially those past 60, make this exact mistake. Not because they're reckless, but because they've been told it's normal, harmless, or even healthy. They trust their routine, their morning rituals, their comfort foods, not knowing they could be inching closer to a heart attack or stroke with every passing week. And here's the catch. Once you hit 60, your heart doesn't bounce back the way it used to. That's when this one habit becomes even more dangerous, clogging your arteries, increasing blood pressure, damaging blood vessels. And the scariest part? Most people don't even know they're doing it. In today's video, we'll walk you through a list of dangerous habits, including the one silent killer that top heart surgeons are begging you to stop immediately. It's the kind of mistake you can fix today, right now, without expensive meds or complicated procedures. The good news? The fix is simple, natural, and backed by cold, hard science. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have confirmed it can dramatically lower your risk of heart disease, if you know what to do and what to avoid. This isn't guesswork. These are insights from decades of cardiology research, surgical case studies, and clinical data that's been buried under the noise of fad diets and outdated advice. And we're bringing it to light today. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments, what country are you watching from? How old are you? And have you or someone you love ever dealt with high blood pressure, chest pain, or heart issues? Your story might help someone else watching. If you care about protecting your heart and the hearts of those you love, hit that like button, subscribe to stay informed, and let's get into the countdown. 1. Skipping breakfast. Here's a habit that might seem harmless, even virtuous to some. But according to top heart surgeons and researchers, skipping breakfast regularly could be putting your heart at serious risk. And after the age of 60, it might just be one of the worst things you can do for your cardiovascular system. When you skip breakfast, your body doesn't just shrug and carry on. It panics. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, spikes. Your blood sugar goes on a roller coaster, and your metabolism begins to misfire. But worst of all, it triggers a cascade of effects that stress your heart and arteries, even if you're not feeling it right away. Your body interprets this fasting window as a mini crisis, and in response, it releases stored fatty acids and glucose into the bloodstream to compensate. This can increase insulin resistance, thicken your blood, and raise both LDL cholesterol and blood pressure, a triple threat for older adults already vulnerable to heart disease. Let's look at science. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that people who skipped breakfast had an 87% higher risk of cardiovascular-related death compared to those who ate it daily. Another meta-analysis from Circulation revealed that irregular breakfast eaters had higher incidences of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension, all of which wear down your heart over time. So what's going on under the hood? Cortisol and adrenaline rise, creating low-grade inflammation. Insulin sensitivity drops, leading to poor glucose control. Homocysteine levels, a known heart disease risk marker, can rise. Triglycerides and LDL cholesterol increase over time. The result? Chronic cardiovascular stress that your aging heart just can't afford. After 60, your heart muscle naturally stiffens, and your arteries lose elasticity. That makes you more sensitive to blood sugar swings, inflammatory markers, and blood pressure surges. Skipping breakfast amplifies all of these. It's like putting your heart in a boxing match before it's had a chance to wake up. What to do instead? Here's the fix. Don't skip breakfast, optimize it. Eat within 1 to 2 hours of waking to stabilize cortisol and insulin. Focus on a heart-healthy mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Great options? Think oatmeal with walnuts and chia seeds, Greek yogurt with berries, or scrambled eggs with avocado on whole grain toast. Add foods rich in magnesium and potassium, like bananas, spinach, or almonds. They help regulate blood pressure and support heart rhythm. How often? Every day? Especially if you're over 60. Your heart needs a stable, calm start. Keep in mind, if you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, GERD, or are on specific medications, consult your doctor before drastically changing your morning routine. And avoid sugary cereals, pastries, or processed meats. Those are breakfast traps, not heart-friendly choices. So while skipping breakfast may feel like a time saver or a sneaky way to lose weight, it could actually be silently aging your arteries and setting the stage for a heart attack down the line. You don't need a complicated fix, just a plate of food and a few smart choices. 2. Sitting for hours without moving. It's quiet, it's easy, and it's killing your heart slowly. Long periods of sitting, whether in front of the TV, at a desk, or even during long drives, have been called the new smoking. And for adults over 60, the effects can be devastating, even if you exercise regularly. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you sit for hours, blood flow to your legs slows dramatically. That sluggish circulation causes blood to pool in the lower extremities, increasing the risk of blood clots, venous insufficiency, and over time, even deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Meanwhile, your heart has to work harder to pump blood back up, especially if your veins are aging and valves are weakening. On top of that, long sitting triggers a drop in lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme your body needs to break down fats in the bloodstream. Without it, triglycerides climb, HDL drops, and inflammation quietly takes root in your arteries. A study in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that adults who sat for more than 8 hours a day without physical activity had a mortality risk similar to smokers. Another paper in Circulation revealed that even people who exercised 30 minutes daily still faced higher heart disease risk if they spent most of the day sitting. The message? Exercise doesn't cancel out the damage from too much sitting. Your heart needs frequent movement, not just morning workouts. Mechanisms and compounds. Reduced nitric oxide production, leading to blood vessel stiffness. Elevated CRP, C-reactive protein. Impaired glucose uptake. Decreased mitochondrial activity. Together, these changes can contribute to hypertension, arteriosclerosis, and even heart failure. Why it's worse after 60? As you age, your body naturally produces less coenzyme Q10, less collagen, and fewer red blood cells, meaning your circulation is already under pressure. Add sitting for hours, and you're increasing your heart's workload while giving it fewer tools to cope. What to do instead? Here's the prescription. Every 30 minutes, move for at least 2 to 3 minutes. March in place, stretch, walk around the house, anything to get blood flowing. Try setting a reminder on your phone or using a smartwatch with movement alerts. Incorporate light resistance exercises like heel raises or seated leg extensions if mobility is limited. And yes, consistency is key. Aim for at least 5 movement breaks per hour of sitting, especially if you're sedentary most of the day. Alert! If you have balance issues, neuropathy, or use a walker or cane, be mindful and adapt your movement accordingly. The goal isn't a workout, just circulation support. You don't need a gym. You just need to interrupt the stillness. Every time you stand up, stretch, or walk, even for a minute, you're taking pressure off your heart, improving blood flow, and giving your cardiovascular system a fighting chance. 3. Using vegetable oils loaded with omega-6 every day. They're in your kitchen, they're labeled as heart healthy, and you might be cooking with them every single day. But these common vegetable oils, many heart surgeons warn they're fueling the fire of inflammation inside your arteries, and you may not even taste the damage. Vegetable oils like corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and even light canola oil are ultra-refined and packed with omega-6 polyunsaturated fats. Now, omega-6 isn't evil on its own, but here's the issue. When it dominates your diet without enough omega-3 to balance it, it becomes pro-inflammatory. That inflammation doesn't stay in your joints or skin. It digs into the lining of your arteries, triggering oxidative stress, endothelial dysfunction, and plaque buildup over time. For aging adults, whose arteries are already losing flexibility, this can accelerate atherosclerosis and set the stage for a heart attack or stroke. A pivotal study in the BMJ Open Heart Journal found that excessive linoleic acid contributes to chronic inflammation and endothelial damage. Another analysis in Nutrition Reviews confirmed that the typical Western diet contains up to 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3, a ratio heavily associated with cardiovascular disease risk. Omega-6 fatty acids, specifically linoleic acid, convert into arachidonic acid, which is a precursor to inflammatory prostaglandins and leukotrienes. They increase oxidized LDL cholesterol, which is much more dangerous than regular LDL. High omega-6 intake reduces your body's production of anti-inflammatory omega-3s, creating an internal tug-of-war your heart can't win. With age, your body's natural antioxidant defenses weaken. That means you're more vulnerable to oxidative damage caused by poor fat choices. Combine that with stiffening arteries and slower metabolic clearance, and vegetable oils can turn into a silent accelerant for cardiovascular disease. Actionable tips: stop using industrial seed oils like soybean, corn, safflower, and generic vegetable oil. Switch to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or cold-pressed coconut oil. These are stable under heat and rich in heart-protective compounds like oleic acid and polyphenol. Target an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio closer to 4:1 or 2:1 by eating more wild salmon, flax seeds, chia, and walnuts. Make these swaps daily. Your heart doesn't get a break from bad fats, so it shouldn't wait for good ones either. Be careful of processed foods, even the healthy ones. Many granolas, dressings, and snack bars use refined seed oils as hidden ingredients. Always read labels and prioritize whole, home-prepared meals when possible. So while your bottle of vegetable oil might say cholesterol-free, that doesn't mean it's heart-safe. True heart health starts with fighting inflammation, and that means choosing the right fats in the right balance every single day. 4. Drinking diet sodas and sugar-free beverages daily. You'd think switching to diet drinks was a smart move, right? No sugar, fewer calories, and still satisfies that craving. But here's what most people don't realize. Those sugar-free sips may be quietly damaging your heart, your metabolism, and even your brain. Especially after the age of 60, the risks skyrocket. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium trick your brain into thinking sugar is on the way, spiking your insulin levels without the calories to match. Over time, this disrupts your metabolic system, increases cravings, and leads to weight gain around the abdomen, one of the biggest predictors of heart disease. But it doesn't stop at insulin. These sweeteners alter your gut microbiome, reducing beneficial bacteria and promoting inflammation. A study published in Stroke from the American Heart Association, daily consumption of artificially sweetened beverages was linked to a significantly higher risk of stroke and dementia. Another study in Circulation tracked over 80,000 women and found that those who drank 2 or more diet sodas per day had a 30% higher risk of heart disease events, including heart attacks. Why is it especially dangerous over 60? As you get older, your metabolic flexibility declines, and your body becomes less efficient at handling sugar, fats, and insulin spikes. Artificial sweeteners interfere with those delicate systems. And since older adults are more likely to have impaired kidney function, these sweeteners, which are excreted via the kidneys, can add more strain on an already taxed filtration system. Let's talk about better choices. Replace diet sodas with infused water. Try lemon, mint, cucumber, or berries, unsweetened green tea, or hibiscus tea. For a sweet fizz, Try sparkling water with a splash of 100% fruit juice or stevia-based drinks, but use them occasionally, not as a daily habit. Aim for 8 to 10 glasses of clean water daily, especially if you're on diuretics or blood pressure meds. Be cautious. Don't be fooled by labels that say natural sweetener or plant-based. Many of these still undergo heavy chemical processing and can affect your body similarly to synthetic ones. And avoid using artificial sweeteners as a free pass to overeat. The metabolic confusion they cause is real. In the name of cutting sugar, many older adults are unknowingly flooding their bodies with metabolic disruptors. But real heart health comes from balance, not substitutes. Swap the fizz for hydration your body can actually use, and your arteries will thank you. 5. Eating dinner too late at night. You may think a late-night meal is harmless, especially if it helps you sleep with a full stomach. But studies now suggest that eating too close to bedtime could be silently straining your heart. And if you're over 60, the damage builds faster than you might imagine. When you eat late, especially heavy or high-carb meals, your body is forced to digest while it should be winding down. That delays your ability to enter deep, restorative sleep and keeps insulin levels elevated well into the night. Why does that matter? Because your heart needs rest, too. Your body has a natural circadian rhythm, a 24-hour clock that regulates hormone release, blood pressure, and metabolism. Late-night eating disrupts this cycle. Instead of your heart rate lowering and blood pressure dipping as it should during sleep, both stay elevated, increasing your risk of hypertension, arrhythmias, and heart attack during the early morning hours when your system is most vulnerable. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that eating just 4 hours before bedtime significantly reduced insulin sensitivity and increased nighttime glucose levels. Another study in nutrients linked late dinners, after 8 p.m., with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, particularly in older adults who already had elevated blood pressure. Your digestive system and cardiovascular system are closely connected, especially at night. Older adults already face slower digestion, weaker insulin response, and a higher prevalence of sleep apnea and hypertension. Combine those with a 10 p.m. dinner, and you've got a recipe for overnight vascular stress. That's why nighttime heart attacks are so common in people over 60. They're often triggered by what and when they ate the night before. Better habits. Try to finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. Ideally around 6 to 7 p.m., keep late meals light and easy to digest. Think brothy soups, steamed veggies, or grilled fish. Avoid high-sugar, high-fat meals at night which spike insulin and inflammation. If you need a bedtime snack, go for a small serving of magnesium-rich foods like almonds or a warm chamomile tea. Important note, if you're diabetic, taking insulin, or prone to hypoglycemia, consult your doctor before dramatically changing meal timing. Also, some medications must be taken with food, so never skip a necessary late meal without professional guidance. Heart health isn't just about what you eat, it's also about when. Giving your body enough time to digest before bed allows your cardiovascular system to rest and recover. Skip the late-night heavy meals and let your heart finally get the sleep it deserves. 6. Taking chronic stress lightly. Most people shrug it off. I'm just stressed, it'll pass. But unchecked stress isn't just a mental burden. It's a direct physical assault on your heart. And over time, that pressure can leave permanent scars on your cardiovascular system, especially once you're past 60. Stress isn't just in your head. It floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline, your primary fight-or-flight hormones. While helpful in true emergencies, chronic exposure creates a hormonal storm that wears down your arteries. It causes high blood pressure, disrupts heart rate variability, and increases your risk for plaque rupture, one of the most common causes of sudden heart attacks. And that tightness you feel in your chest? It's not just in your imagination. Stress literally reduces oxygen delivery to your heart muscle. A large study in The Lancet followed over 100,000 participants and found that those with high levels of psychological stress had a 27% greater risk of heart attack and a 30% higher risk of stroke. In addition, Harvard researchers discovered that people under chronic stress had elevated levels of C-reactive protein, CRP. As we age, our vascular elasticity declines and baroreceptor sensitivity, the body's pressure monitoring system, weakens. That means your body can't buffer stress-induced blood pressure spikes as effectively. Older adults also tend to have more underlying conditions like diabetes or hypertension. What you can do: start with 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing or mindfulness meditation daily, both shown to lower cortisol. Practice progressive muscle relaxation or guided imagery before bed to reduce nighttime stress. Engage in light, enjoyable exercise, like a 20-minute walk or gentle yoga, which boosts endorphins and reduces tension. Incorporate adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha or rhodiola, after consulting your doctor, to support stress resilience. Cautionary note: don't self-diagnose or push through if you're experiencing frequent tightness in the chest, dizziness, or shortness of breath under stress. These could be signs of angina or worse. Seek medical help immediately. Stress may feel invisible, but its effects on your heart are very real. Ignoring it isn't strength, it's a gamble. Learning to calm your nervous system could be just as life-saving as any medication or diet change. Your heart doesn't send a warning bell before trouble strikes. It quietly takes the hits, day after day, until one moment becomes too late. That's why understanding these habits isn't just important. It's potentially life-saving. Every action you take, what you eat, how you move, how you handle stress, and even when you eat or rest, can either protect your heart or silently chip away at it. The good news? You're not powerless. These aren't massive, overnight transformations. They're small, daily choices, like swapping an oil, moving more often, managing stress, or eating dinner earlier. That, over time, can literally reshape your future. So, don't wait for symptoms. Don't wait for a scare. Start today. Your heart has been showing up for you every single moment. Now it's your turn to show up for it. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Have you already made some of these changes? Or are you just getting started? Share your experience in the comments below. You never know, your story might inspire someone else to take control of their health, too. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Stay well, stay strong, and remember, your best years can still be ahead when you take care of the heart that carries you there.